This is the Stockwell Roche Show, giving you real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Josh Roche.
Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Results myself.
Yes, that's breaking news, folks. Breaking
Congratulations.
news.
Thank you.
Josh Roche has come
Minnesota
to
Dream Finders.
the good guys, I guess. I don't want to say that out loud.
No,
to
it's
anybody else, but-
no, we're good.
No, welcome to RE/MAX Results, Josh. And we have a great show for you today, folks. We are going to be honored to have Don Doty here, who's an inspector, very experienced inspector with tons of credentials, talking and sharing stories and good information for you about what the importance is of an inspection. It's taken lightly in fact, I think it's taken way too lightly all the way around.
It is.
In our industry, and that's put on us as agents a lot of times. I think.
It is. As a lender, we have our client sign something when you're doing like a FHA mortgage, just says for your protection, get a home inspection, and it's kind of just glossed over. And
Yep.
I've got horror stories of clients that had inspections done, and they're thankful that they did, and I don't want to say coerce them into, but told them that, hey, I don't use your brother who is a contractor. Go find somebody who's licensed to do this.
Yes.
They've found major issues that I'm glad that they use somebody.
It's very important, and we'll get into the agent part of it too, Josh, because I see some things where the agents say, "Oh, don't worry, you're getting a loan, FHA. They're going to do one anyway."
No.
Let's just roll with that one. But it is an art to do that, and it also is a process and something to talk about, because sometimes that can affect your offer, and that can be something we can talk about as well, as how an inspection contingency can affect your offer when you're submitting an offer on a home for you as a buyer or as a seller. So we have Maddie B here, AMIC Home Mortgage. Welcome.
American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, acronym AMIC. Yep.
Awesome. And Ben Nelson.
Farmers Insurance.
Farmers Insurance, yes. Just wanted you to say it to make sure I did
all
it
right.
right.
Make
Sounds
sure I
better coming
remember
from
it
you,
too.
right.
And we're talking about the market in the Twin Cities here as we cracked into the new year in 2016. And I think it's
great.
it's crazy.
It's great. It's
I don't want to say crazy a lot, but it's crazy.
It's been great. The weather's been great so far. We're seeing our numbers from last year to this year. We're up in listings by 1% this year.
Listings are up 1%.
About 1%.
that's not
That's
bad.
awesome. It's pretty good, actually. And then our pending sales are plus 39.6%.
Okay, that's the number we got to focus on.
That's crazy.
40% increase in pending sales. So that tells you that buyers are buying, and
I think that has a lot to do with the interest rates, the down payment assistance programs, just the low payment down payment assistance programs that are out there that people are taking advantage of.
yeah, I think it'll continue for this year with the number of buyers that are seeing that the Fed raised the rates, even though it doesn't directly correlate to your
It's only been
mortgage.
like
It
a
does
quarter-
correlate at some
4%.
level.
Yep.
And they're going to continue to throughout the 3 times. I think the Fed meets 3 times this year. They're projected to raise all 3 times, is what I've heard. Slowly, of course.
Right.
And that will just make it so that if you're looking to buy,
I think
now's the time.
If you're looking to buy, but if you're looking to sell, now's the time too, because you're going to get the most money for your home in 2016 now than you will in moving forward, because you're going to have less buyers out there with the rates going up. Less buyers going to be taking advantage of the program. So there's going to be a lot of buyers trying to take advantage of where the interest rates are now before they start hiking up, and that's good for you sellers out there.
it's great for you sellers. In fact, I don't want to jinx anything, but 2016 would almost be like 2006 all over again. So as far as the market and values,
Yeah.
everybody rewinds in their head and says,
So if you're going to sell, this 2016 is the year to do it.
Yeah, last year we had a really early spring. Honestly, talking before the show started, I've had quite a few loan applications that have come in that it's kind of overwhelming, the amount of business that's actually coming in and being able to be done right now. So people are seeing that the news, you watch the news, you see what's happening with interest rates. It's kind of sparked a little bit of a fire in some people.
So it's really, really good all the way around for everybody. Gas prices are super low. Natural gas prices are super low. So you can everybody basically, I spoke with Bob Lux the other day at a meeting, and he was saying it's like everybody has an extra $100 to $150 a week based on the prices of natural gas and gasoline for your car for disposable income, either to save, hopefully,
Yep.
or to spend. So it's really, really positive for everybody to do that. Now, that will change at
Yep.
some point, but make sure you're stowing something away. Make sure you're saving, being frugal, being cautious, and mindful of the extra money you have now in the good times that we're having right now. So just be cautious of that. But any
Let's
other
hope
mortgage?
it's not 206 again. Let's hope it's not 2006 anymore. That's
Yeah,
we don't want to see that anymore.
I know.
No, the
don't
price wise, I think the Minneapolis is actually going to get to the point this year, 2016, where where we actually reach the previous crest, or the
Once-
previous top. Other parts of the country have already surpassed
Yep.
it. Many parts of the country have actually surpassed their previous peak in home sale prices and pricing for homes, averages, medians. But
I don't think we're
Minneapolis
gonna-
will do that this year, I predict. So.
I'm glad we're a little bit more conservative here, as far as values going up the way the way that they should go, as opposed to the way that they did in
06.
a decade ago.
Yep.
So, as far as mortgage news, interest rates stay low right now. We're still seeing the FHAs with decent credits, well below the 4% mark. Conventionals right
Wow.
around the 4% mark. So. It just all depends on, once again, it's going into purchasing or refinancing or doing any kind of a transaction. Having a team, having some people. We have a great team here in the studio today, but being prepared. Like if your credit's here at 660, and we can help you over the next couple of months by getting prepared months in advance versus 30 days in advance, we can help you increase your credit score and help take advantage of better programs. So
Yep.
better programs and better interest
so
rates.
Matt, when someone wants to buy a home and they want to go get pre-approved, how soon should they be talking to you before say they want to buy a house in June?
They should be talking to me now.
Right. Okay.
Because you don't know what shows up on your credit report. There was a 60 Minutes.
Well, not only that, we've got different programs too, like TRID. TRID
Yeah.
is holding things up a little
It
bit now.
is.
It's not a 30-day close anymore. It's
No.
more like a 45 to 60-day
Yep.
close too. So
And it's and I've had numerous files where we went one direction and that direction didn't work, and we now have to change loan programs, which adds a pile of time to a transaction. And it's you never know what's going to happen when you're going through underwriting, because you can put the information in, you can verify the information, but if it's taking, it goes over 45 days or 60 days, sometimes your documents expire and now maybe they don't have the same amount of money in the bank. Or they've taken out a new credit card because they're like, okay, well, we're buying a house. We tell them, don't go spend your money.
that's what we call our do's and don'ts.
Yeah, do's and don'ts. There's a lot of them. Or they go buy a car, they do something, or they have an emergency that comes up, or a medical bill shows up on the credit report. All kinds of things can happen. So it's better to get prepared now and have somebody have a copy of your credit report, so we have a plan to be able to say, hey, you're good right now. Don't make any deviations from this. Or we have some things that we need to adjust immediately so that you are prepared in June, because it's going to take 30, 60, 90 days for things to get corrected. So.
And new construction. Changing subject. New construction.
And new construction.
And new construction is going to be
Yep.
blowout in 2016. It already is starting. So if you're looking for a new home, brand new construction all over the Twin Cities, call us 651
Please call us,
400
yep.
0773 651 400 0773. There's a lot of developments and a lot of projects that
And there's still some land out there too. There's builders
they're
buying.
building
They're
and we
everywhere.
know about them.
Yep.
Sometimes some of these aren't even on. They're not even
not
being
on the
marketed.
market.
So
And that's a
they're
good.
just
That's
starting.
a good point. That's
so,
a good point because they're not even on MLS.
Yep.
So
No
reach out to us
competition.
because we do know what's going on in the certain areas that we're in.
Tons of new construction. So, Don Doty, inspector, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And Don, you have just let you share your experience
Yeah,
in
tell
what
us
you
your
do
story.
and everything about your story. Yeah.
Well, my story is this. Back in 1973, right after I graduated from high school, I got into the building business. How I got into it was I was building decks. And then one thing evolved to the next, and then room additions, and then houses, and then custom homes, and then townhouses and big projects. So that took me into about 1970, or that took me into about 1992. And then I got into what's called Home Place Inspections Incorporated. And since then, I've been doing home inspections ever since. So I've kept my builder's license this whole time, but now I feel like I've given it up because it just really didn't serve me any purpose. So right now I'm strictly inspecting homes. I'm a licensed home inspector. I'm a certified home inspector by all the associations, the ASHI, the American Society of Home Inspectors, the NAHI, that's the National Home Inspectors. So I've got the highest credentials in the 50 states. I say that right on my brochure, that if you can find anybody in the country with my education and credentials, I do the inspection absolutely free, which is
nice.
a pretty
That's
bizarre,
great. It's cool. It's great.
very bizarre statement. So anyway, I'm a truth in housing guy. So in other words, if you're going to sell your house in certain cities, and we can get into more on that in different shows, but I'm a truth in housing inspector for, like, say, Minneapolis, Bloomington, that type of thing. So if you're selling your home, you have to have these types of inspections. They typically cost $175. We typically just need about a day or two notice. Then you can go ahead and list your property and go ahead and sell your property. Some of the cities require repair items, and they're fairly inexpensive items, so I wouldn't worry too much. But the Stockwell team, of course, will educate you when they're listing the properties, and kind of
And Rocher team.
and Rocher team.
Gotta get Josh.
The Dream Finders.
Yeah, Minnesota Dream Finders.
Yeah. So they're going to instruct you also on how to prepare for that. So upcoming shows, we'll talk more about that in its entirety.
And I'm looking at your material, Don. Thanks for being here. I have not seen.
Right.
I've had a lot of inspections,
Right.
seen a lot of inspectors,
I was impressed too.
and have not seen the material on the front end of what, with the credentials, like you said, number one, but then the material you're providing for consumers and agents,
Right.
to get them informed on the importance of the inspection. So if you have a question about your house and want an inspection, I'll give you Don's number, and then we'll come back. We'll talk more about some cool stories and also about tips for you, whether you, a family, a friend, a coworker, is going through a home sale or wants to do a home sale or purchase in the coming year here, 2016. Don's number, 952-544-8141, 952-544-8141, Home Place Inspections, Inc. And thanks, Don and Maddie B and Josh and myself and Ben will be
Ben.
back in the next segment here shortly. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned.
Signs where there must be more to life, so I keep on holding on.